Yes, hello again, I'm Simon Hill and this is a Game of Two Halves, the football news quiz that's not even a quiz this week. So we put together a clip show of all the best bits from the first 14 episodes. And when we say best bits, we obviously mean the least worst bits. Yes, hello again. Good to have you with us for the first Game of Two Halves of the new season. We are back after the Christmas break, so unlike Fox Sports, you didn't miss any of the key moments over the festive period. Get away. First then, let's kick off with a look at what's been in the news around the world this week. Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp's touchline hugs have been added to the new FIFA 21. After 14 years though, we are still waiting for EA Sports to include John Cosmina's touchline hug.
And John Cosmina having a real set-to on the sideline.
Meantime, Joachim Löw has announced he will quit as head coach of the German national team after the Euros. Word is Löw potentially got a sniff that he could be picked for an enticing coaching job where he can really get his hands dirty. And MacArthur's Anthony Golec demonstrates he may have been played in the wrong position his entire career.
Both sides are really...
Huge save! Wonderful save! It's as big as we've ever seen in Australia. I'm sorry it is. It's as big as we've ever seen under pressure.
And in the W League, the regular season finished quicker than a Craig Noon free kick, but a Game of Two Halves veteran Riley Dobson made global headlines when she finished a fantastic career with a win, a goal and a fiancé, and made sure Melbourne City hogged the limelight, despite completely missing out on finals. And in England, Frank Lampard's reign at Stamford Bridge comes to an abrupt end as it becomes clear that appointing a club legend to be coach is a terrible idea. A Game of Two Halves wishes Corica, Kisnorbo, Moon, Brebner and Viet all the very best of luck. Now, on to our first round. It is 4-4-2. We show one team a set of 4 pictures. That team can come up with any answer and they'll get a point if it's creative, even if it is totally wrong. If they don't spot the right answer though, it could cost almost as much as tickets to watch MacArthur FC, because the other team will get a shot to steal the point. So let's get started. Bobsy Babes, you are on deck for our first set of 4. And here we have our very own team captains, Jamo and Bobs, as well as Massimo Luongo and Jenna McCormick. I will give you a free hint right off the top. It is not Massimo for being the only one who's not appeared on a Game of Halves so far. But where else might he like to have appeared?
I'm going to go with me, because I'm the only one that hasn't played any minutes for about 6 years.
I think you get a point for being creative there, Bobs, actually, but it's not the right answer. Joey, would you like to have a stab at it?
I do have one which I think is correct. So I'm not sure if it's the one you're looking for, and it's also quite mean in the sense that Scott Jamieson is the only one whose team hasn't won a championship. The others, AFLW, Asian Cup and numerous W League titles, have all lifted trophies.
Ooh. That's a very good dig at Scott, which obviously we like and rate, so we're going to give you an extra point for that. Unfortunately, it is not correct. So I'm going to give you one more clue as we throw it over to the Jamo Tarts. Massimo, of course, was in Russia 2018.
I would have said myself, Simon, because I'm the only one that looks like he's doing the toilet.
All right, let's have a look at the answer. It is actually our very own Bobs, because while all of them have represented their nation, she's the only one to get minutes at a World Cup. Massimo never made it off the bench in 2018, and Jamo, of course, remind me, did you watch that World Cup on the TV or from the stands?
I would have also accepted Scott Jamieson is the only one fortunate enough to have shared the field with legendary K-League defender Harrison Delbridge.
Also a good answer. Yeah, you're really trying for extra points, but I think we've given out enough.
I'm not going to get real points, so I might as well get extra ones.
Now for the next set of 4, let's bring them up. So So this is Roy O'Donovan, Mohamed Toure, Martin Lee, and Josh Rawlins. We're looking for the odd one out. Let's hear your best wrong answers. There's a point for creativity here. Phil Moss, you're up first.
Martin Lee's the odd one out because the other three have been spotted in the last 18 months.
That's a good answer. Jenna, any advancement on that?
I'm just going to be brutally honest here and say that I am not familiar with any of them except for...
With any of them? Terrific. Bobs, what about you?
I'm going to go with Martin Lee because he's probably got the most money out of all of them.
Well, entirely possible. Jamo, what about you?
I'm going to go with Mr. Martin Lee because he's a tight ass and he probably doesn't pay any of his bills and the other three do.
I think Phil Moss probably gets the bonus point there for being the most creative, but it's not the real answer. Who's got a serious guess for us?
Apart from the obvious one being that Martin Lee doesn't play football and the other three do, correct?
The odd one out here is actually Roy O'Donovan, as he's the only one that's actually got a licence. Martin Lee, of course, lost his Jets licence this week, while both Mohamed Toure and Josh Rawlins are both still only 16, while Roy is still happily driving, but probably not a Hyundai these days. No Tarts, you have first crack at this set of 4. And what we have here is Craig Goodwin, Ollie Bozanic, Andy Keogh and Mitch Duke. All 4 returned to a former club this season, but who is the odd one out and why?
Well, Andy Keogh hasn't played for the Socceroos.
Well, that's probably true, yes. But it's not what we're looking for.
Oh, you asked for who the odd one out was, my son, and I gave you the right answer.
To be fair, you did give me the right answer, so I'm a little bit slow off the mark. I'll give you a point for that, but it's not the actual reason as to why it's Andy Keogh. So for a bonus point, anybody want to have a crack at that?
I believe it is, give me the pictures again, Ollie Bozanic, because the other 3 have played in the Middle East.
No, the clue, Scotty, was when I said to Michael Lynch that Andy Keogh was the correct answer, which obviously meant you weren't paying attention. So Andy Keogh is the odd one out, but we're still trying to ascertain as the reason why.
Well, because he ain't Australian, and the others are.
You've tried that answer already, Lynch, and it didn't work the first time.
He's played in the Premier League and the others haven't.
Also incorrect.
That's true. He was at Wolves, wasn't he?
Michael, listen, the rules of the game, it may well be true, but it's not what we're looking for. Do you understand the rules?
Simon.
Yes, Jamo.
Can I request Joey Lynch instead of Michael Lynch, please?
Who scored with their first touch for the Mariners? Yes, Jamo.
Roo, after you, my friend.
No, you can't pass on.
No. Whoa. Jamo. No. If you shout your name out, you've got to give us the answer, not Ruan.
All right, I apologise. It was the young boy, a good friend of mine, Hatchie.
What's his first name?
It doesn't matter. He's a friend of mine. I call him Hatchie.
Well, what's his first? If you're on such good terms, what's his first name?
Sam Hatch.
Matt Hatch.
Yes, Matt Hatch is correct. You try to bluff your way so brilliantly out of that, Jamo, but no chance. On to question 2. Who scored the only goal between Western United and Central Coast Mariners? Yes, Jamo.
Shit. Who was it?
No, it wasn't him.
Sounds like a Three Stooges joke.
I don't know.
Well, so why did you shout your name out if you didn't know?
I'm gonna say it was Stephen Lustica.
You can say that, and you would be incorrect. Let's throw it over to the Bubsy Babes. Any clues, Gary and Bobs?
What was the question again?
It was so long ago. Who scored the only goal between Western United and the Central Coast Mariners? The game played in Launceston in Tassie.
Oh, I know now.
Too late, Scotty. Stay quiet, please.
No, nothing.
Okay, in that case, we will throw it back over to the Jamo Tarts. Go on, Scotty.
Connor Payne.
You got there in the end. His name wasn't shit, it was Payne. For a final bonus point, where was celebrated tartan-clad Scotland fan Rod Stewart born?
Can we have some 21st century questions? I'm like,
Not a Rod Stewart fan, Jenna?
I don't even know who he is.
I'm not sure, to be fair, I'm not sure you've known who anybody is in this show so far.
No, yeah, you're right.
Anybody want to hazard a guess as to where Rod Stewart was born?
New Zealand.
No, about 26,000 kilometres out, actually, Mossy.
Didn't he marry a Kiwi at some stage?
I think he married quite a few nationalities throughout his long marital career. The answer is Highgate in London. You're no stranger to goal line clearances, Daniel Georgievski.
Back to Matt Simon, teeing up Mirzaevski, and the flick. Well, that's offside. Oh, no.
How
Georgievski there.
How did Georgievski save that? This is a miracle from Georgievski. He's just thrown himself. What's he doing back there anyway in the first place? Ernie Merrick will be saying, thank God you're on the goal line. God knows why.
What were you doing back there?
I got a cramp. Well, mind you, we were 10 men down from like the 15th minute, and I was just cramping everywhere, and I just ended up on the goal line, and he smacked me in the chin. I was keeping everyone on side, so I don't know.
I think that's the most honest answer we've had so far in a game of two halves. That is absolutely brilliant. You might even get a point for that. Jamo, we also had a look around for your finest work in this area and found this. That's hard. Actually, we did look a bit harder, and we did find this from 2015. Put your boot through that one, Jamo. I didn't even think you had a right boot, Scotty.
I'll piss off, Simon. I've showed you all my clips about the Victoria Wondergirls and my right foot. You can piss off with these goal-scoring jokes and all that stuff now, all right? And my right foot jokes.
Jamo Tarts, yet to get on the board. Absolute disgrace. You promised your fans a better performance this week, Jamo.
Hence why I brought in the big hitter, Carly. But
I'm embarrassed.
She's obviously a slow starter, but I'm sure she'll come good. I just find it refreshing being on the same team as a highly esteemed reporter like Carly, because usually reporters and players don't usually get along, but I've never had any issues with Carly.
Goodness me, could you kiss ass anymore?
Yeah, they're the ones that give out the ratings of how good we play, so really, I've stopped kissing your ass, talk about your band, I've kissing their ass.
I'm very pleased about that, to be fair. Ooh. Yes, it's On Me Headlines, the segment that usually has our contestants struggling like a 10-man Adelaide or Western Sydney Wanderers. 1 point to the team who can fill in the missing words, and some bonus points for those who can adopt Olympico-esque level of creativity to create their own victory-style winner. And we're off. Here's our first one. Palmeiras striker Luis Adriano tests positive for COVID-19, and then what happened? First guesses to the Bubsy Babes.
Palmeiras striker Luis Adriano tests positive for COVID-19 and then goes to the movies, gets a haircut, drives around his own state, and then has 25 people over for dinner.
You obviously thought about that quite in depth. That was a very comprehensive answer, especially as it's wrong.
Test positive for COVID, that's what they've done, so I was just going with that flow.
Actually, I'll give you a clue that moving around is sort of on the right lines. Maybe we'll throw it over to the Jamo Tarts.
I thought I knew the right answer. Apologies for my English. Because I thought I saw a headline in regards to a player and a positive COVID test and then going back to training or something, but no, Walshy, to be honest with you.
Your guess is good. I'd just be making it up.
Yeah, I don't know Brazilian football that much, nor do I like this segment very much. Even though I like Hayley a lot, and I think she does an amazing job for this show, this is her segment. So I'm going to stick with the women's football theme and say Palmeiras striker Luis Adriano tests positive for COVID-19 and watches the Matildas compete very positively against Holland and Germany.
Very well recovered, by the way, with regards to Hayley, and superbly grovelled. We'll see if that pays dividends in terms of points. Nobody's got within cooey of the right answer, so I think, unfortunately, we're probably going to have to tell you. So the answer is the Brazilian tested twice to COVID-19 before breaking isolation and driving to a shopping mall, and he'd have got away with it as well if he hadn't hit the cyclist on the way out of the car park? So that's the answer. Escapes isolation and runs over a cyclist. We haven't seen a more impressive low-speed COVID breach since Wellington's Payne and our very own Sale took to the streets of Sydney topless driving a golf cart during lockdown. Sorry, Ollie, we had to do that. But to be fair, mate, you became an instant A-League legend there by doing that.
Yeah, something to tell the kids.
Women's FA Cup matches may be what? Let's hear your wrong answers first.
I'm going to go with women's FA Cup matches may be decided by nudie runs around the pool table.
Nudie runs. Are you speaking from experience here, Bobs? Was that ever a tiebreaker in teams you played in, for whatever reason?
When it's cold out or it's lightning delays and we can't play the match, it's just nudie runs around the table, pants down around your ankles too, just in case.
How do you know who wins?
Well, you got to get it's a race.
Right.
Go on, Riley. What did you say?
Down with what Bubs just said, it's an Eagle Rock style if we're doing nudie runs around the table. Yeah, hands down around their ankles.
Who was the best at that, Bobs? Just out of curiosity.
It's me.
Hands down.
No, but because if I'm quite honest, having a child in diapers and, toilet training, I learn from the best. That's it.
Okay, Riley, your job before you come on this show next is to get photographic evidence of the fact that Bobs is really good at that. Well, can anyone guess the real answer?
My real answer is the FA Cup, because there's so many teams in lower leagues, they're actually going to have to toss a coin or make it a ballot. A lot of the professional teams can play and train, but because of COVID, a lot of the second and third tier teams can't even play. So
that's a very thorough answer, and you are correct again, Bobs. The Jamo Tarts need to up their game a bit here. Yep, England's Football Association are currently considering a range of pretty poorly mind-mapped ideas to see out the remaining second and third round stages of the Women's FA Cup. Now, not to be outdone, Football Australia have also put forward their tried and tested suggestions to help our Commonwealth counterparts. Anybody remember this? The Christmas cracker. And the joke in there was, why did the referee pick up the phone during the game? Because he had 14 missed calls. And our final headline to see us out, football match abandoned after players did what?
I'll leave this to you, Kanuli.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to use my imagination here and come up with something very creative then.
You get points for those kind of answers, so just go for something really out there.
I'll give you a clue. It was in Bulgaria.
I think they've abandoned the game because they seen Bubs jumping on the field dancing.
You might get a point for that one. The answer is actually before we give you the answer, let's throw it over to the Bobsy Babes. Any clues for us, Ned, Bobs?
Bulgaria, Ned, I reckon. What do Bulgarians do?
Look, I'm stuck on this one. No idea.
Okay, we will tell you. The answer is chase the referee off the pitch. A match in Bulgaria was abandoned after furious players and officials sent the ref packing after he booked a player for a push. Check it out. Of course, in Australia, we just use career-smearing passive-aggressive words instead of violence.
I'm just getting confirmation of whether it was Viet or it was
It's making his feelings pretty plain. Well, this is just a quick thanks to everyone who bought us a coffee over the past 4 months. Thank you so much for your support. Your generosity is truly appreciated. But we also aim to be back for a second season later on in the year. If you'd still like to buy us a coffee, feel free to do so at www.ago2h.com, and we will raise a glass in your honour at the virtual end of season party. Cheers. Yes, hello again. Welcome to another episode of A Game of Two Halves. Sorry about that, just a bit of a technical issue. Tony Popovich is back after being appointed to the top job at Melbourne Victory and has reportedly been given a blank cheque to sign whoever he needs. A little closer to home, Melbourne City barely had time to celebrate their 6th goal thrashing of local rivals Victory before they went one better with a 7-0 hammering of the not-so-big V, leaving their fans and Officeworks print centres delighted. Tim Cahill emerged as a surprise favourite for the top job at Fleetwood Town. With the UK currently under lockdown, of course, no fans are currently allowed in the ground, meaning the supporters are right where Timmy wants them. New Year's Eve finally saw clubs take ownership of the A and W leagues, the new body immediately sticking to their New Year's resolution and stripping the Newcastle Jets licence from owner Martin Lee, so that A-League clubs, including Western Sydney Wanderers, could take ownership of the Jets. Well, after taking Carl Robinson, Kenny Miller and Bernie Abini from Newcastle and lining up Steven Ugarkovic, the Wanderers clearly found it much easier to just save time and take control of the whole club instead. Who says we need a transfer system anyway? To celebrate, Foxtel announced Fox W, which will allow viewers to watch Women's AFL and Rugby League, as well as the W League. Well, at least partially. And the A-League's Star Wars round has clearly reached the Premier League in the shape of West Ham Emperor Darth Moyes.
Don't want to get you in trouble, but what's the concern from you then?
Let's see if the Jamo Tarts can turn it around in our next round, which we call Back Paddock Legends, where we recreate an iconic moment from Australian football history with every expense spared. Now this week, can you guess what this is all about?
Martinez to Bullet, and he scored! Kerem Bullet! But hang on a minute, hang on. So was that offside, Bazza? He goes away to celebrate, but the flag is up. He's still going. He's still going. And still going. And finally, he's realised that this is not going to count.
Yeah, it is the unforgettable moment where Kerem Bullet was inspired by Mark Twain. Dance like nobody's watching, love like you've never been hurt, celebrate like you actually scored, even though it's offside. So for 1 point, quickest on the buzzers or the horns, who was he playing against?
Just for the record, I will not be answering any questions about Kerem Bullet because I want my family and my friends to be safe. So I will not be participating in anything about Kerem Bullet. So Ellie, if you want to take over, be my guest.
Oh, he's probably somewhere here in Sydney with me, so he's a bit closer to home.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess.
Hey, actually, give it to Trav. Give it. I wouldn't mind if Trav went missing. So give it to Trav.
Well, Travis is probably safe in Adelaide.
I'm going to go, that sort of a celebration should be saved for a derby. Was it Sydney FC?
No, unfortunately, you are all wrong. Scott, do you actually know the answer to this one?
Yeah, but I don't want to be in trouble with him.
He doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Look, I will get the right protection around me, and I'm going to say it was the best club in the A-League, Melbourne City.
It was indeed. I'm not sure. Do we give Scott a point for that, given that he prevaricated so much?
I risked my life for that point, Simon. I risked my life for that point.
He's got half a point.
What do you mean half a point?
Hayley, half a point. Because he's only going to have half a kneecap left. That's why. He is Karen Bullitt, the legendary enfant terrible, whose skill has been squandered by fallouts with authorities and the police. But once upon a time, he looked like being the next great Aussie striker when he won what?
Asian Footballer of the Year.
You're in the right sort of ballpark. Elian Scott.
I'm going to say Clubman of the Year at Western Sydney Wanderers.
Wasn't Young Footballer of the Year?
No, you're all sort of reaching around, grasping in the dark, and quite frankly, you're nowhere near. He actually won the Golden Boot at the AFC Under-19 Championships in 2010 with 7 goals in 6 matches. Bullitt, of course, left Australia to join Mlada Boleslav in the Czech Republic in 2010. What closed almost immediately after he left the country? And here's a little pic of Kerem that might help jog your memory. I think I'm going to be in trouble after this. And here's a picture of a T-shirt to give you a further clue.
Bondi Inc.
It's a fair guess, but it's incorrect.
Oh, Travis Dodd. On the money. It was indeed the Ed Hardy stores in Australia, famous for their gangster-style tattoo print T-shirts, who went out of business and shut their doors within weeks of Bullitt's exit. They may be related or maybe not. And if you do want to see Karen Bullitt in action once again, he is due back in court on Monday. Can I say that? Yes, welcome to We Don't Know What You're Doing, where we hit pause on the Game of Two Halves VCR, and the teams tell us what happens next. Teams, get ready. Here we go with the first one for the night. Not much to go in this one, so let the creative juices flow. What could on earth happen in this situation? Who wants to have a crack at that one?
Somebody's mother comes onto the pitch and says, "You shouldn't be out here. You should be out having dinner."
Well, something on the pitch that shouldn't be there is pretty close to the mark, but it's not somebody's mother.
A dog came on the pitch and cleared it off the line.
There we go. Well, he didn't clear it off the line.
Sí, ese no hay duda, no hay duda. A ver cómo define acá. Bien. ¡Mirá! ¡Mirá! ¡Qué buen gol! ¡Gol de perro! No lo puedo creer, no entraba. No entraba. Yo creo que sí entraba, pero la cabeza. No entraba. Pero, mira. Junior.
Why is that game getting commentary and televised coverage? Like, can we ask that question first?
Well, to be fair, Scotty, I did think about sending in a CV, see if I could get a gig. Apparently that happened in Argentina, the four-legged forward scoring in the match. The Pooch, I love those celebrations. Looks like he just smugly walks away, even though it's only a tap-in. Let's go on to our next one. This penalty went viral across the globe. Why?
It hits the crossbar and they start celebrating and it ends up going back into the goal.
Well, you've done your homework, Bobs. It's not over until it's over. In 2017, the Thai Cup semi-final between Bangkok Sports Club and Satri Angtong went to a jaw-dropping 19-all penalty shootout stalemate. But with an apparent miss seemingly sealing a win at last, the Satri keeper went off for a wild celebration, only to see the ball slowly bouncing back into the goal. How are your spot kicks, Jamo?
Well, I don't get to take any, unfortunately, Simon. The main man McLaren takes them, but look, I'm sure if there's an opportunity to score a goal this year and we're comfortably winning the game, I'll be the first to grab the ball.
Didn't you take one in a cup shootout?
Yeah, I don't really talk about that anymore, Simon.
I was going to say, comfortable, you haven't got another game against Victory, have you? Or have you? Yeah, you have.
Michael, we do. We do, Michael.
You might get a chance when you're 8-0 up there then.
No, I don't think it'll be that score then, Michael, but look, see what happens, shall we?
You're so diplomatic.
Only acceptable performance now, having won 6-0 and 7-0.
There we go. Green and golden oldies. We've taken a virtual time machine to the future to have a look at some of our Socceroos if they'd made a few bad decisions and went all post-retirement razor ruddock on us. So you just have to tell us who is who. Now, first up, the law of the deep-fried Mars bars have clearly taken their toll on this star 30 years from now. Who is he? Go on.
That's definitely Tommy Rogic.
It is. It's Tommy Rogic, looking like your favourite Scottish uncle with a heart condition. Next, the former jet-setting star's babyface had faded over the years. Who's this?
That's a former teammate of mine, Adam Taggart.
He's spot on again. I absolutely love this round. Yes, Korean hero Adam Taggart looking more craggy than taggy. Next up, this Socceroos just spotted someone buying the last pie in the shop. Who is this?
Lyndon Dykes.
It is not Lyndon Dykes.
Is it Jacob Burns?
No, Bobs, go on.
Ryan Grant?
No, it's not Ryan Grant. Seriously, I thought this one was the easiest one of the lot. Jamo, go on.
Robbie Cruz.
Finally, it is Robbie Cruz getting injured by someone just taking his pick or taking his pie. Next, this veteran has clearly still got it. Who is this?
That was pretty shit out, wasn't it?
I'm going to say the greatest Australian footballer of all time, Harry Kewell.
Indeed, you are correct. Still being cool in his 60s. He's got a beard as grey as mine. Next, could there be more than meets the eye to this one?
Aaron Moy.
It is a pudgy Aaron Moy there after 1 or 200 Chinese takeaways too many. I love this round. Next, the former Macca's employee who seems to have eaten all the profits. Who's this?
Alex Brosk.
Incorrect. Jamo?
I won't use that other Travis Dyer. I'm going to say Craig Goodwin.
Yes, one-time McDonald's employee Craig Goodwin refusing to retire. Next up, the look that says halal snack pack for dinner. Who's this?
David Boone.
That's Matty Ryan.
Hey, now Travis, you can't have two cracks at it if you got one incorrect.
I didn't have a guess. Jamo guessed. Come on, go back to your adjudicator.
Travis
said David Boone.
Said David Boone.
Adjudicator, who said David Boone? Was that Travis or was that Scott Jamieson? Travis. Yeah, I thought it was Travis as well. Careful, Travis, or we will dock you a point. It was Bob's, I think, that said, was it Matty Ryan? That is correct. Eagle-eyed Matty Ryan. I actually think there's a bit of a Phil Moss vibe about that picture as well. Finally, this bloke is still number one for the geriatric golden boot. Who is this?
That is my trusted golf partner and number 9 at Melbourne City, Jamie Fat McLaren.
Jamie McLaren making a tash for the finishing line. He looks like Colonel Sanders. But before we wrap up this round, here's a few more we prepared earlier.
Oh my God!
That's actually me.
That's good.
Now.
Yes, that was Ellie looking elegant, Jamo looking surprisingly good but hairy, Bob's looking very chic, very Sex and the City, and sorry Travis, I think Jamo might have done that one. You seem to have eaten all the future pies.
That could be an extra for Harold Bishop out of Neighbours, the way that.
Very good, Travis. Yes, it's the return of Babyface. We've put a few familiar faces through the time machine and some young Matildas came out. But can you spot who they are? First up, Jamo and Walshy. Who's this? Any guesses here? If you need a hint, she put in a bracing performance last weekend.
Oh, bracing performance last weekend. That does not look
Come on,
like
Walshy.
Last weekend.
You're the head of women's football. You should know what they.
No, but I think the faces really put me off.
That's sort of the idea of the round, Walshy.
Oh,
Michelle Heyman, isn't it?
I think we're going to have to throw this over, and Bobs, you're going to kick. Walshy, you're going to kick yourself. Bobs, you shout it out. Do you know?
Emily Gilnick.
It is indeed a very young-looking goal machine, Emily Gilnick, who scored twice against Germany to at least try to make that scoreline look a little bit respectable.
I think I'm going to have to close my eyes for this game.
Now for this one, we have Stefan Kolakowski, Daniel Wilmering, Dylan Holmes and Matt Hatch, or Sam Hatchy Hatch as Jamo knows it. Each of them has something in common, but what is it and who is the odd one out?
Stoll, do you reckon Stefan Kolakowski is the odd one out because he wasn't a ball boy?
I reckon he might be the odd one out because he has a contract for next season.
Okay, we're obviously going to have to tell you, our odd one out is actually Dylan Holmes. As kids, all four were fans of their local A-League clubs and then went on to play for that club and score for it. But while the others realised their dream by playing for their hometown club, Dylan got her dream move by leaving the club she supported as a kid, and this month signed for BK Häcken in Sweden. While both Mariners' Matt Hatch and Western Sydney Daniel Wilmering went from ball boys watching their heroes to being the heroes, and of course Hatch set a new record in the process with the fastest A-League debut goal in history, 23 seconds after coming off the bench with his very first touch. And of course there is another Central Coast Mariners ball boy out there with a massive future ahead of him.
But if you're going to play party pooper on the Central Coast, then the ball kid's going to do the same thing.
Showing such amazing potential to absolutely destroy the careers of even footballing legends like Timmy Cahill. Will he grow up to be the next great Socceroo or just a football journalist? Stolly, was SBS your childhood club in TV land?
Yeah, actually. I did work experience there when I was like 14. So
3 years ago?
Yeah, hey, and I remember watching you back when they had a nice 6-hour show on Sunday.
Before I had grey hair, hey?
Before our budget got cut, we couldn't afford you anymore.
Yeah, but let me tell you, it was pretty slim in those days as well. Jason, how hard has it been when your hometown club doesn't actually play in your hometown anymore?
Yeah, I'd love to be commentating a game at some point.
Yeah, me too.
A little bit close to the bone, wasn't it? No.